All right, guys, we are going to create our Unit 2 notebook. So you should have some sheets of paper that you picked up. All right, again, please make sure that they're in order. So just make sure the pages are sequential. All right, once you have those pages in order, the very first one has no page because it's the table of contents. You're going to line them up like so. All right, then what you're going to do is take your ruler and you're going to find the center, and you can kind of see the writing on the other side, so kind of split it. All right, then take a few sheets at a time. So I'm going to take 3 sheets, apply pressure on my left hand. With my right hand, I'm going to pull to my left hand and pull down. Pull to my left hand and pull down. So you're doing that. Then you're going to, so this is the table of contents by itself, and then put the pages in sequential order. All right, so just put them in order as you go. All right, I'm going to take the last few. And again, if you find it hard to do 3 at a time, you can just do 1 at a time if you want to. Again, apply pressure on my left hand. With my right hand, grab the corner, put it to my left hand, and then I'm going to apply pressure here, and I'm pull down, gently pull down. All right, so you can do it in more steps if you need to. That's okay. Again, put them in sequential order. So I'm going to get what I already have, and I'm going to go left, then right, then left, then right, then left, then right, all right, left, then right, and left. All right, so again, just double check that the numbers are going in order so that you make sure that you're gluing it in the right spot. All right, so once I have that, I'm going to take the half sheet of paper with my table of contents, and I'm going to cut it down to the end. So again, apply pressure on my left hand. With my right hand, grab the corner, bring it to my hand, gently pull it down. All right, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side, just Unit 2. Again, pressure on my left hand with my right hand, pull it towards my left, gently pull it down. And now we are ready to start gluing in. So we're going to glue in the table of contents. So that was for Unit 1. And on the very top of the page, at the very top, we're going to glue in Unit 2. Now let's talk about gluing. So there are 2 options that you have. This is what I call the really crazy glue, and this is your chapstick. Okay, if you're using the crazy glue, all I want is 4 small dots, and I need them to be away from the corners, so like kind of diagonal towards, a little bit of the center. 4 small dots like that. The reason why you want to put it away from the corners is so that they don't seep out, and you only need four small dots because this is that good glue. This one will stick. All right, line it up at the very top, and now you got your glue in. All right, so we're going to go to Unit 2. So obviously I'm going to go to the end of Unit 1. Here is Unit 2. We're going to need a cover page. So you're going to write Unit 2 linear inequalities. And remember, you're not going to put anything in this margin on this side or anything here. So everything should be towards the center of the 2 pages, nothing on the ends, because we're going to cut those out today in tabs. So once you have that, you're ready to start gluing things in. And we're just going to glue in order. Okay, so when we're gluing, again, there are 2 methods of gluing. So it's always two pages to 1 page. All right, so 2 single pages to 1 page. And you want to glue to the middle, like so, not to the ends like that, but to the middle like that. So when you're gluing, what you're going to do is, again, you have a couple of options. You got the chapstick. If you're doing the chapstick, please do not use all the chapstick, okay? All you got to do is do 4 dots towards the corner. So right here, right here, right here, right here. And I'm staying away from this line right here. Once you got the 4 dots, put your pepper down. Make sure you're staying away from this one. It's okay to go over that one, stay away from this one. So again, if you're doing the chapstick, I'm not going to glue anything in here. So towards this side. So here on the top, towards the middle-ish, top, towards the middle-ish. And again, just make sure that you're going in sequential order, keeping this page away from that margin. But it's okay for it to go over this margin. All right, so that's how you're using the chapstick glue. If you're using the glue, all right, so you're going to go to the next page, and you're going to get your next double sheet. So once again, on your double sheet, you are not gluing them on the outside, you are pushing them on the inside, staying away from this side and this side. There's an invisible line right here. Do not cross that line. So if you're doing this glue, you're going to repeat that same process, only your 4 dots are gonna be even smaller, right? So I'll put a small dot right there, small dot, small dot, small dot. And I'm gonna do both pages, small dot, small dot. Once I put my small dot, again, make sure your pages are in sequential order and you're gluing them away from this side, put it down, away from this side, put it down. If you get a little glue out, make sure you kind of wipe it off because your glue will stick, all right? And you're just gonna keep rinsing and repeating. Again, you're taking your 2 pages and you're gluing them all the way on the inside like this. All right, I'm not gonna glue this because I'm gonna end up taking these out, but I'm gonna put them in there just so I can show you. So again, push them towards the middle. They don't have to be right on the middle, but push them towards the middle so that this is free. Then you're gonna go to the next page after you glue it, whichever your method of gluing is. Take the next 2 double pages and repeat the process. Again, push them towards the middle. So it should always be an even number is on that side, an even number is on that side. All right, take the next page and you just glue in this as fast as you possibly can. So if you're going chapstick, again, you put dot, 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 like a little bit more. I just don't want to glue this in right now, so I'm leaving it like that because I'm going to do something different. And again, just making sure you're going in sequential order, making sure that you always end up with an even number on this side. So push the paper towards the middle, stay away from these 2 lines when you're gluing. All right, then you're gonna go to the next page, next 2 pages. Again, in sequential order, push them towards the middle. Don't put it right at the middle, but push them towards the middle. Stay away from that line, stay away from this line. Glue that in. And then this one is by itself. Push it towards the middle, stay away from that. All right, so once you've glued your paper in, the next thing that we're going to do is make our tabs. So to make our tabs, so pause the video until you have everything glued in. To make our tabs, we are going to split our page the following. So take your pencil and kind of just estimate about halfway down. Make a mark. All right, make a mark about halfway down. Then count 1 line and make another mark. So you should have a mark just like I have. So you should have 1 and 2. Okay. All right, so once you have that, you're going to take that sheet of paper, slowly kind of fold it over in the middle like this, fold it over in the middle. And then you're going to take your pencil and you're going to mark on your first line, you're going to make a mark. And this is going to be the title for that. So you can go ahead and write the title down so that it's ready. So you're going to take your first line, make a mark, and your second line, make a mark. And then you're going to copy this down. So on the big one, it should say single linear inequalities. On the small one, it should say vocab. And we're going to check to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So somewhere on these pages, you should have vocab, which I do right here, vocab. So again, it's always whatever's on the page, vocab. All right. All right, once you have that done, you're going to take that sheet of paper, you're going to lift it up slowly. All right, you're going to lift it up slowly, and we're only on the top part. Then you're going to take whatever space this is, split it in half on the next line. So put a mark right there. Split it in half on the next line, put a mark right there. Then you can fold over that paper because you don't need it. You have the mark right here. And you're going to put the title called graphing. And you can color this in after we finish. All right, graphing. All right, when you finish that, you're going to take this page back. So you've got graphing right there. You're going to take that page and put it together with this big one. And then you're going to fold the paper again. And then you're going to look at what you have. So you're going to look at what you have. And so after graphing, you should have writing that's going to come right at the bottom right here. So you're going to pause the video and copy that down. All right. Once you have that tab copied down, we're going to do the next one. All you're going to do is take your writing tab, bend that over just a little bit, and you're going to mark the bottom of that tab, And then basically this whole page is this tab. So what you're going to do is take about maybe half, do half. Take half of what's left, okay, and that's going to be this big piece, and then take one line. Okay, so again, mark right here, and then about half of it is going to be this big piece, and then do one more line. All right, so that's going to give you this tab. All right, so go ahead and copy it down once you've made those lines. So system of linear inequalities, and then this is going to be graphing. Okay, so once you have those two done, we are almost at the end. You're just going to bend the paper over, and on the next line, you're going to make a single one. All right, so bend the paper over, then mark the top right here, mark the bottom, and then you're going to write right on that. All right, once you get that tab, it's going to be the last tab. You're just going to bend the paper over just a little bit. And then on the bottom of that old tab, you're going to put a new one on the last page. And then that tab is going to be called Data plus Unit 6. Now, before we even start cutting, okay, you're going to make sure everything is where it needs to be. And if you're unsure, you can definitely come and ask me. But please do not cut anything until you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to check. So this is Unit 2, Linear Inequalities. All right, then you're going to get something that has vocab. So you're looking for the titles, and it has to have something vocab. So this is on the right page. And again, you're always going to have even numbers on the right-hand side. If I go to the next page without me cutting, I should have something that talks about graphing. All right, something that talks about graphing on either page. So this looks like a continuation that says solving, and here is graphing. So again, it matches graphing with graphing. That's how you know you're on the right page. All right, if I go to the next page, I should have something that has writing, okay, something that says writing. So over here, you see it says write. Okay, so I know those two on the same page, on the right page. If I go to the next page, I should have something that talks about system of linear inequalities and then how to graph that. All right, so looking at my titles, again, I'm looking at systems of linear inequalities, and then this says solving, and looking right here, these are graphs. So that's graphing systems of linear inequalities. Again, so you're just matching before you cut the paper. If I go to the next page, it says write. And because that big tab said systems of inequality, I'm writing systems of inequality. Now, in this one, I don't actually use the word write, but you can see that I'm writing from context. Okay, so that one is matching with that. If I go to the next page, you should see something that talks about data and then Unit 6. So, of course, there's data, all right. Test data measure central tendency. You don't know this yet, but this is Unit 6. And then this goes over one more page. So you should have another page that has it. All right, again, once everything is matched up, you've glued it in and everything is matching, now we can go ahead and cut. So again, if you want to see me before we cut, absolutely, please come see me. All right, but cutting is relatively simple. You're going to take a ruler if you're most comfortable with a ruler. You're going to take scissors if you're most comfortable with a scissor. But I tell you, ruler is so much faster, so learn how to do this one because it just takes a little practice and then you're good. You're going to go to your cover page. On your cover page, you're just going to grab the one sheet of paper. You're going to put the ruler with the invisible margin on the other side, and then you're going to apply pressure on your left hand. With your right hand, you're going to pull towards your left hand and pull it all the way down. And if it kind of tears like this, it just means that you just got to come from the bottom. That's it. All right, so as soon as you do that, you should see your tab appear. Then you're going to turn the page, okay? You're going to take your ruler again. You're going to go to the bottom of your last tab, and you're going to cut it all the way down. Now, I don't see my tab appearing because this one has a couple of pages before I get to my next tab. So what I need to do is keep cutting until my tab appears. So I can see I need to cut 2 pages exactly where this is. So that's what I'm going to do. So instead of me cutting one at a time, I'm just going to quickly mark with my ruler. It's right here. And then I'm going to get 2 pages, 1, 2, so that my tab can appear. Cut it to the line, and then cut it down. And you can see that as soon as I did that, what happened? My tab appeared, right? So it's just that single linear inequalities is 3 pages, and then systems is the rest. So now that I'm here, I'm going to come to the bottom of my tab again, apply some pressure, cut it to the margin, and cut it down. And again, once I do that, a tab should appear. Okay, so boom, a tab has appeared. All right, I'm gonna repeat that process for my new one. So again, come to the bottom of my tab, cut it to the margin, and cut it all the way down. And again, as soon as I did that, a tab has appeared. So now I've got all my tabs in. I should be able to see everything from my cover page if I've done this correctly. So you can see we're doing single linear inequalities. We're going to talk about vocab, graphing them, writing them. Then we're going to do system of linear inequalities. We're going to talk about graphing and writing them. And then we're going to talk about data and unit 6. And that's how you create your unit 2 notebook. I am not grading your notebook without it having tabs and a little bit of color. I got some color pencils if you want. It doesn't take very long to shade it in. Just go ahead and shade it in. And that's it. Let's practice.